Hey, what is good everyone, Chris here, welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking about a lens that I previously mentioned. This is the Nikon 200mm f4. It's an old vintage lens that Nikon used to produce many years ago. And why I'm using this lens instead of the, let's say, 50-140 or any other lens on my Fuji setup, well, stay with me. And if you didn't subscribe to the channel, it's just a click away. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, also the notification bell. But let's get to the video. So, like I said, this is the 200mm f4. It's a very well built lens. It's built out of metal, very solid lens. And I am super happy to see that you guys are interested in vintage lenses, and that's why I'm gonna make more videos about it. This lens I actually bought recently. I went on eBay and searched for something because, as you probably know already, I bought the GFX 50R, and it's gonna be my main commercial and workhorse for anything related to my business. I needed some lenses that I will be very happy to shoot with and also provide the quality that I'm looking for, especially on the GFX 50R, which is a 50 megapixel sensor. And from my research, I found out that my old lenses, though these ones I recently bought, I used to have the 200 f4 as well as the 105 f2.5 and many other Nikon lenses, because I was a Nikon shooter and I love vintage lenses with great glass and good quality image. So I went on eBay, like I said, and bought this lens. But this is definitely not the GFX 50R. This is the Fujifilm XT3, the camera that I use for street photography and all my let's say inside projects. And I do love this camera a lot, so I thought if I bought the lens, why not try it on this one and see how it works. So today we're talking about the 200mm f4 on the Fujifilm XT3, basically on Fuji X mount cameras. I will show you a few samples of the images that I recently shot with it, and I'm happy to say that I'm pretty pleased. Though this is an APS-C sensor, this is a full frame lens. It works very well on the GFX, but I will go through that in a different video when we're going to talk about GFX and everything else. Now we're only talking about the XT3. So if you like this lens and if you think that it's for you, please stay with me, because I'm gonna, like I said, show you some samples and talk a little bit about it. So let's get into Lightroom and see how this worked and if it did. Okay guys, so here we are in Lightroom. These are the photos that I chose for you today to look at and appreciate how the 200mm f4 from Nikon works on the X mount cameras. And let's start with the first one. This is my favorite toy. It's Grogu from The Mandalorian. I put it in a backlit situation, and as you can tell, the contrast, it's not amazing, but it's not bad at all. Keep in mind that all these are manual focused photos, so it might be a little bit off focus from time to time. I try to keep my hand steady as much as I could, but the coffee might have kicked in at some point. Nonetheless, I love the way it renders the autofocus areas. It's so beautiful and smooth, and as you can tell, the eyes are pretty sharp. There is not much contrast, like I said, but it's a backlit situation, and most of the lenses, even the wide aperture ones and even the ones that are well suited for these kind of situations, are struggling. Now the second photo is outside in my backyard, and look at this beautiful bouquet in the back. This is just an old vase that we were using to breed plants and grow them inside, and as you can tell, the sharpness is amazing. This was shot probably 6-7 feet away from the subject. This lens doesn't provide an amazing close focusing. I think it's around 4.5 feet, something like that. So I was a little bit over that, and the sharpness is pretty good, as well as the chromatic aberration. Keep in mind, these are raw photos. I didn't edit anything in the photo. It's just the raw photo that came out of my XT3. And even the colors, these are the real colors. You can tell the sharpness it is beautiful. I kind of missed the focus a little bit on this dirt here, and here is the sharpness of this lens on this highlighting spot. I do love the way it looks. Now this one is more for chromatic aberrations, and I shoot this these branches of the tree that I have in the backyard, and you can tell there is a lot of color fringing. It's a lot of chromatic aberrations, a little bit of a magenta cast all over, but it's nothing that you can't fix in post, and I will show you that. So if we're going into develop module and look at the photo, I'm gonna go into lens correction, and because the manual lens, we don't have this automatic, so I'm gonna just try to get this ugly chromatic aberration off, and I think we're good now. There you go. This looks beautiful, maybe a little bit from the green, and you have a great contrasty photo with no chromatic aberration. So it is possible. And now the next photo that I wanted to show you is about the colors and how it renders bokeh. This is still in my backyard, and this one has all the colors, and I will be honest with you, the colors are not popping that much in the real world. It's pretty much the same as it looks here, but it's nothing that you can't do and again repair in post. You can just give it a little bit more contrast, and you can tell the colors are getting back where they were. It's a little bit under contrast, but if you look at the photo right now, it looks very, very popping, and the colors are great. So these are the colors, and I'm gonna show you a little bit more about them. Now this is a pretty much dead dandelion. I shoot it for sharpness, and you can tell that I shoot this one as at 100, I think it's of a second, 1/125 of a second. And I think I moved a little bit because there is not a full sharpness, and still you can tell if you're looking at the photo not zoomed in, the photo looks sharp, pretty sharp. And again, we have a little bit of chromatic aberration and the color fringing on the sides, but I already demonstrate that it's easy to fix this in post. These are the lemons from our lemon tree. It's beautiful to see that this lens renders so much of depth of field, and it looks so pleasing. Everything is pleasing. It's smooth and soft. It's not very, let's say, crunchy, and maybe the sharpness is not the best, maybe right here, but I shoot this at pretty much the closest focus distance as I could. And I think this one is shoot at f4, so there is a lot of depth of field and a lot of bokeh. Again, I wanted to show and see if the backlit situation is pretty much backlit. The sun was around 45 degrees to the left, almost top up. It was 11 o'clock in California. So yeah, the sharpness, again, it's not perfect. This is shot at f4, though you'll probably see f1.0 right here. It's because the lens doesn't send any kind of electronic data, any kind of metadata to my camera. So you can tell that the sharpness is not amazing, the contrast is not amazing. I think this one is fixable in post. Let's try do a quick fix. So I'm gonna increase the contrast in this one, and it's already better. I'm gonna come down with the highlights, and there you go. A little bit of shadows, maybe more blacks to make it even more contrasty. This is a very nice photo, but the sharpness, again, it's not perfect. It's a bit hazy at f4, especially when you're shooting backlit. Now this one, it's shot at f5.6, and you can tell that I moved a little bit, but I think the focus was somewhere right here. I choose this burn spot to see if I can get perfect sharpness, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Again, backlit with a lot of back lighting hitting this subject. And this one, the last one, is f8, and you can tell it's a lot more improved. The sharpness is great. You can see the texture in this leaf right here. You can see the veins and you can see everything. I do love this photo. It's beautiful. So at f8, if you're shooting landscapes, this lens will definitely prevail. And again, another sharpness test. Beautiful sharpness. I think this one was shot at f5.6, and you can tell there is a lot of detail in this photo. This is another photo that I try to exemplify the color fringing and the chromatic aberrations, but as you can tell, the color fringing is pretty well controlled, though this is a pretty reflective surface. It's pretty much a little bit of a reddish magenta right here, but other than that, it looks pretty good, and the sharpness is amazing. You can actually read this tag on the chimney right here, and it looks very sharp, very crisp. I love it. This one I shot for colors, and I wanted to show you because there are many colors involved, and you can tell that the color rendition is amazing. Everything looks the way it should. This one was shot at ISO 200, and the sharpness is so good that you can see the texture in the illustration that they put on the label on this snack for kitties. And yeah, it looks amazing. Even these ones, you can see the texture. So the sharpness and the color rendition is great on these 200 millimeters. Now, my favorite combination of colors is basically blue and orange, and also I love greens. This is all three in one. The pavement right here is pretty much a grayish, let's say, tan color, so it's pretty well reproduced. And you can tell that the sharpness is very good on this web duster, and it's very nice. We do have a little bit of chromatic aberration or color fringing in green right here, but nothing that can be fixed. Also, the orange look very good, very true to life, and yeah, I am super happy with what I'm seeing. Now, the last two are a portrait of my daughter, and I'm gonna select them both and show you exactly what I'm saying. And I edited both just to show you what you can get out of them. So let's compare these two. This on the left is pretty much the same stance, same position, same place, and one is a little bit more melancholic. The other one is more happy, more excited. You can tell that the eyes are sharper in this one because of me, obviously. Like I said, I was shooting f4 on both of them. My daughter was probably, let's say, foot, maybe a foot and a half from the wall behind her. This is the fence, actually our wooden fence, and you can tell how sharp this is. There, see, there is a little bit of specks of I don't know, dust probably in her hair, and how nice this lens renders the bokeh. And the colors, her eyes are actually pretty much this color. Now I'm gonna show you exactly how these photos look straight out of the camera, and let's go with this one. I'm gonna just reset the photo in the develop module, and this is how it looked. It's shoot in pro negative standard, which I love for portraits. You can tell the colors are very nice, a little bit dull, but it's because of the color negative. If I'm going to Adobe Color, you can see that everything looks beautiful. There is a bit of a purple fringing right here, maybe because of the sun was reflecting out of a surface or something like that. Also, you can get a little bit of a magenta tint, but we just have to fix this, and it took me 1 second to make it look amazing with no kind of tinting and anything else. Guys, this is pretty much it. These are all the photos that I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you will love this lens. So yeah, this is the 200mm f4. I'm impressed on how good this lens performs on an APS-C sensor, And it might not be the sharpest, it might not be the most contrasty lens, but the colors are good and the rendition is pretty well for 24 megapixels. Keep in mind that these lenses were shooting on the 35mm sensor back in the day on the SLR cameras. So I am impressed, and I can't wait to show you how good it is on the GFX, if it is, because we don't know yet, right? So if you enjoy these videos, if you like this kind of, let's say, presentation of vintage lenses, and like I said, I'm trying to get you into buying more vintage lenses. If you have a few dollars to spare, this lens actually was $50 on eBay, and it's in a very, very good condition, as you can probably tell. The barrel, everything looks good. The haze and fungus inside, it's pretty minimal. I'm not sure if it's perfectly clean. I tried to look with a very powerful light, but it doesn't seem to me that it has been affected, the image quality, that much. So guys, thank you again, and if you enjoy these videos, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm always saying that. Please put your comments in the box down below and let me know other amazing vintage lenses that I should buy and use on my X mount and also on my GF mount cameras. And give these videos a thumbs up. It's important for the algorithm, it's important for me to know exactly where I am and how you guys enjoying these short or long videos that I'm making for you. And I will definitely see you in a bit.